Hello. Hi. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you've never been here before. Today we are going to be talking about 10 Christmas horror books that I recommend for the holiday season to get you into the spooky Christmas holiday season. So before we get into all that, if you want to support me outside of YouTube, checking out my Patreon is the way to do so. Link for that will be in the description below. Okay, so a lot of these books I don't have. Pretty much all these books I don't have. I get them through my local library, through Libby, through Kindle. So this is your daily reminder, weekly reminder. Anytime I post a book video, I'm gonna remind you to get a library card if you haven't, because it's free and reading is free and it's accessible and it's just a great fun time that's not doom scrolling on your phone. Anyways, just a quick little reminder of that. Check out your local library. We're gonna go ahead and just start off. So the first book is called Christmas Break or Xmas Break. This is actually an arc that I read early, so thank you to NetGalley for letting me get the arc for this. But this one is out now, so I read it before its publication date. But this one is about a couple that goes to visit like the girl's sister, and the sisters are kind of estranged. They've had a weird tiff or fight. They haven't talked in years, and they allude to it throughout the book, and you're trying to like figure out like what is it that happened between them? Why are they beefing? So the sister invites our protagonist to like a holiday, Christmas Eve, let's spend time together, whatever. So she's in a cabin in the woods. It's snowing, blizzarding, if you will, and shit just goes down. You know, it's spooky. The tag for this is "Don't expect a silent night," and it's just a lot of fun, honestly. I really enjoyed the goofiness of the Christmas puns, I guess I should say, of the Christmas like taglines that they had in there, quotes, whatever, catchphrases. I thought it was a fun time. You know, I don't need a lot. I just want it to be very Christmas-y when it comes to like Christmas horror books, movies, whatever that might be. I just need it to be extra Christmassy, like every page be as Christmassy as you can possibly get, and that's what you get with this book. So take with that what you will, but I enjoyed my time with this one and I flew through it. It was such a fun, fast, easy read, and it's a very short book, so I think that you will fly through it as well. So if you check it out, let me know. Okay, next is a book that I actually do own, and that is Hark the Herald Angels Scream. This is by a lot of different authors. This is a short story collection, but it says a Blumhouse Books original. So like basically every story is written by a different person. They're all Christmas themed. That's really exciting and sexy. Not a whole lot to go into because they're short stories, so I can't like give a summary of them, but this cover is the reason why I bought this book. I wasn't really expecting to get a book. I got this at Barnes & Noble. I know I just raved about fucking libraries and library cards and all that. Listen, I had a Barnes & Noble gift card. I was there and I saw this cover and I just had to get it. It's a birthday gift. All right. But I will update you guys once I read more of this. I'm planning on starting this probably today or tomorrow. So I'll let you guys know how it is. If you want to get updates about like the books that I'm reading and what I'm rating them, whatever, all that jazz, I use Storygraph. I don't use Goodreads. I prefer Storygraph. So the link for that will be in the description. You can follow me on there. Okay, next we have a book called Candy Cane Kills. Now, I will go ahead and read you the synopsis off of Storygraph. When Austin's parents drag him and his little sister Fiona to a remote cottage for Christmas, he's less than thrilled about the forced bonding exercise. But after learning that their holiday getaway was the site of a horrific crime, this family on the rocks will have to fight for their lives against a legendary killer because Candy Cane is slashing through the snow with a very long naughty list. This sounds like everything I could want in a book and more. It's like horror movie themed. It kind of sounds like, I don't know, just like a typical, like a Silent Night, Deadly Night, like a My Bloody Valentine. Like it sounds like a cheesy 80s slasher movie. If you're gonna do that, at least make it themed around a holiday. I'm surprised there's not more around different holidays. I mean, yeah, we got Leprechaun, we got like, where's an Easter Bunny one? You know what I mean? I mean, there probably is one, but one that's like at least a little bit good. Like My Bloody Valentine's not that bad, but it's like a little bit higher of quality. Like where's a good high quality like Easter Bunny one, whatever. And then kind of the same thing for even Silent Night, Deadly Night. Like it was kind of like bad, you know? But this just sounds like that, but in book version. So it just sounds right up my alley. I've been on the hold list for this for quite some time. So I'm hoping to get to this soon. And it just came out last year too. And it's only 140 pages. Easy peasy. I bet I can just fly through that, right? And I bet you could too. It's under 150 pages. Sounds like a nice, fun, quick and easy holiday read. Okay, so the next book is called Secret Santa. This one doesn't have the highest rating and it came out in 2020, but it is also short as well, 216 pages. But I'll read you the synopsis. The tagline for this is The Office meets Stephen King dressed up in holiday tinsel. So we'll see how that one is, but the synopsis reads, out of work for months, Lucy Meyer is desperate to work anywhere in publishing. Prestigious Blackwood Patterson isn't the perfect fit, but a bizarre set of circumstances lead to her hire and a firm mandate. I don't know how to pronounce this person's name. Lucy must find the next horror superstar to compete with Stephen King. It is the 80s after all, and horror is the hottest genre. This is taking place in the 80s, so I think I'm kind of alone in like not really liking the 80s. Listen, I like the 80s when it's the actual 80s, but I don't like adaptations of the 80s, modern adaptations of the 80s now. I know, it's weird, it's just how I feel. Anyways, let's continue. But as soon as she arrives, Lucy finds herself the target of her coworkers' mean-spirited pranks. The hazing reaches its peak during the company's annual Secret Santa gift exchange when Lucy receives a demonic-looking object that she recognizes but doesn't understand. I'll just leave it at that because the description is very long. Something about her soul, cursed objects. It sounds fun. The ratings for this aren't great, at least on Goodreads. On Storygraph, it's like a 3.4, which isn't that bad. You know, it really isn't. I'm not going to be a stickler of ratings. I will, if a rating for a book is bad, or I guess 3 stars or under, I will still read it if I'm interested in the premise, just because I'm like, I gotta figure it out for myself. You know, like I can't just go off of the public opinion. I gotta figure it out for myself. You know, that's kind of like what my whole channel is, like watching movies and all that. I watch the movie to figure out for myself. Like I hear about all these movies or these books or whatever that are like so good or so bad. It's like, hey, I gotta form my own opinion. So I'm gonna give this one a shot, and it just sounds kind of funny. I mean, hopefully it has some good humor in there. So that's my one thing that I really hope that this book has. Okay, this next one is kind of an obscure title, but I'll explain it in a little bit. And that is I Found Christmas Lights Slithering Up My Street. This also came out very recently. This came out literally last year, but this is part of like a series that this author does where like the first 3 words are I found whatever. And then like the third word, it's like something spooky, like Halloween or Christmas or whatever. Like it's a niche thing or whatever. And this one was actually rated like pretty good. Honestly, out of 100 views, as a 3.8. So a lot of these books are gonna be like, not like unpopular, but the ones I'm kind of describing, except for one, are going to be kind of like not a lot of reviews, maybe not a lot of buzz around them, I guess. So anyways, this one, the synopsis reads, something festive is growing in the sewer. After last year's tragedy, Douglas' parents are ignoring Christmas. But when Douglas finds an eerie strand of lights slithering through the sewer, he unwittingly unleashes merry terror upon his neighborhood's tacky lights contest. This one I'm not like super pumped to read, but I'm interested enough. It's also really short, which is gonna help my case. 152 pages. I'm hoping someone will read any of these books with me because I think it'd just be so fun and interesting. So let me know if you do. But I think this one could be very cheesy because it's like the Christmas lights and it's kind of giving Krampus. Like Krampus was very cheesy with like the little gingerbread man. If I'm reading it with someone, maybe, hello, if someone wants to read this one with me, then I could see it being kind of fun and like either we make fun of it or we actually just end up enjoying it. So let me know if any of these tickle your fancy, please let me know and then we'll read them together and that'll be so much fun. Okay, next is another like really recent Christmas book, and that is You Better Watch Out. Another short book, around 240 pages, short-ish, I guess I should say. But I'll go ahead and I'll read you this synopsis. 48 hours until Christmas, Jessica Kane wakes up with blurred vision, ears ringing, and an excruciating pain. Gash in her head and blood running down her face. The last she remembers is she is going for a run and something or someone hitting her in the head. It doesn't take her long to realize she is trapped in an unknown deserted town with 5 other strangers who share similar stories of being attacked and stranded there. Unsure why and how they got there, she knows one thing for certain: she has to find a way out. That becomes nearly impossible when someone is meticulously orchestrating their deaths, one by one, and the only thing Jessica can do is watch the life leave their eyes. The fenced-in town is the killer's very own playground, and there's nowhere left to hide. She better watch out, because she could be next. The thing that makes this one Christmas-y, I don't know if it's like taken place around Christmas time, but I remember reading that this is, James S. Murray, best known as Murr on the hit TV show Impractical Jokers. I've never watched Impractical Jokers. It's just like not my thing. I'm not a hater or anything. I've just never watched it. And like no one in my family watched it. So like I never saw it growing up. But the thing that makes this one more Christmas-y, I believe, is like the town, these people who got like hit over the head and woke up in, the town is like weirdly Christmas themed. Like it's very peculiar. Don't know what that's about or if this is taking place around Christmas time. But yeah, either way, I think I'm really into books about weird, creepy towns or cults in small towns or whatever, like stuff like that. Abandoned towns. I think that is like the main aspect of this book that I'm the most excited about. And of course, Christmas horror. And if you're into Impractical Jokers and Murr, you know, that's another thing that could tickle your fancy. I don't know. Okay, the next book is Everything is Temporary by John Kahn. This one is also very recent and came out last year. 276 pages, a little bit on the longer side in comparison to these other books. The tagline for this is, how well do we really know the people sleeping next to us in bed at night? I wish you could see my dog right now because I'm staring him down. Okay, so the synopsis reads, after a tragedy strikes the Barnes family, Sarah's husband Tom begins acting strangely. It starts with wild mood shifts, accusations at their 13-year-old daughter, but quickly escalates to the attempted murder of an off-season mall Santa. He's just trying to get that coin. Okay, from what Sarah can tell, Tom's only motive seems to lie behind a mysterious hatred for Christmas that burns year-round. What's worse, Tom's only defense lies in a long-forgotten book he wrote detailing a traumatic event in his childhood that seems too far-fetched to be believed. His entire case revolves around the notion of talking Christmas trees, a living army of toys, and worst of all, a monster masquerading as Mrs. Claus. So it's not even Santa Claus. Like, we're just gonna blame Mrs. Claus. Like, something with Mrs. Claus happened. Why are you attacking Mr. Claus? You know, Santa Claus. Now, Sarah must go on a journey into her husband's past to learn if Tom is in the midst of a psychotic breakdown, or if he's a danger to his family, or if he really is being hunted by the malevolent holiday horror that destroyed his childhood. Okay, so this one I feel like is giving the most Krampus, because Krampus, but like if the kids grew up. You know what I mean? Because a lot of goofy, wacky things happened in Krampus, but the ending was kind of obscure. I won't spoil it, but the ending was a little obscure. And it seems like this one kind of maybe took inspiration from Krampus and kind of applied it to their book and see like what would happen when the kids grew up. Now it's like he's being haunted. He's like traumatized from this thing. He wrote it down, but it doesn't really seem like he remembers remembers it too well. I know I'm gonna love finding out that it's actually real. I'm interested to see if he specifically is like a terror and like a menace to society, and that's why all these like Christmas toys are like coming after him, like Night Before Christmas style. I wonder, like, is it him or is it just like this random one-off situation that happened to him once when he was a kid? Okay, the next book is probably the most well-known of the bunch, and that is NOS 482 by Joe Hill. Now, if you don't know, Joe Hill is the son of Stephen King, and this is also the longest and I think the one of the oldest books on this list. So this book is about 700 pages. Don't think I'm gonna read it this year, but I'm throwing it out there because if someone else wants to read it or just wants something to add to like a Christmas kind of list, this is there for you. But I've also heard this one has really good reviews. Out of 14,000 reviews, it has a 4.03, which is like really good. Just to put it in perspective, the higher the number of reviews there are, usually it's like the less good the rating is, like the lower the rating gets. So if the rating can get a 4 out of like more reviews, that's good. That's really good. And I know that this was also made into a TV show, I think on AMC. I think they had like 2 seasons of this, right? Okay, so the synopsis reads, in 1986, 8-year-old Victoria discovers that she can find lost items by riding her bike through a particular covered bridge near her home in Massachusetts, which will transport her to the location of whatever she is seeking. Victoria soon discovers that each trip through this bridge exact an increasing mental and physical toll on her. Charles Talent Max has a way with children. He likes to take them for rides in his 1938 Rolls-Royce Wraith with the NOS 482 plate. He can slip right out of the everyday world and onto the hidden roads that transport them to an astonishing and terrifying playground of amusements he calls Christmas Land. So there's the Christmas. One day Victoria finds, this killer Charles, whatever. Now she's the only kid that's ever escaped him and is all grown up, ready to forget about it. Charles never stops thinking about Victoria. He's on the road again and he's picked up a new passenger, Victoria's son. It's like a generational, like long time has passed type of thing. So the Christmas allure, obviously, is he takes these kids to like a Christmas land or whatever. I'm a little worried about to read that because it sounds a little creepy if you are picking up what I'm putting down. But again, I think maybe if I'm gonna read it, I would have to start in like June and then finish it by Christmas time because I just can't read that big of a book in that short of amount of time, and Christmas is like right now. If anyone else has read it, let me know if it's worth it because then I will pick it up. Okay, next is The 12 Frights of Christmas. Now this also has a bunch of other authors. It's another short story collection. This one is the oldest one. The cover of this is spectacular. I love the cover for this. This came out in 1986, going about 236 pages. Not a whole lot I can even describe with this. It's just a collection of short stories. Even has one from H.P. Lovecraft, Robert Louis Stevenson, who wrote Treasure Island. Anyways, yeah, just sounds like a lot of fun. Nothing really more to say about that one. I love reading like short story collections because you can fly through them usually pretty fast, although sometimes they do tend to be longer, even though it's like the stories are short. But at least you kind of know what you're getting. It's called The 12 Frights of Christmas. Like, we know what we're getting, Okay, and this one is probably one of the more well-known out of the bunch as well, along with the Joe Hill one. It is called The Stupidest Angel by Christopher Moore. Now, I think this is kind of deemed a little bit of like an underrated classic, I guess, in some sort of sense. This came out in 2004, and we're looking at about 300 pages here. Now, the premise of this sounds freaking hilarious. And I can't believe I haven't heard about this until I went to go looking for books for this video. It's about this little boy named Joshua Barker. He's in desperate need for a holiday miracle because he witnessed someone whack Santa, like someone dressed up as Santa, over the head with a friggin' shovel. And so his Christmas prayer is, you know, Santa, please come back. Like, oh my God, Santa just died right in front of me. There is a guardian angel that hears him, like an IRL guardian angel. They hear him and they want to grant him this wish, his Christmas wish. But if you're doing the math, this angel is bringing someone back from the dead. It is tagged zombies. So I think a zombie apocalypse happens because of this freaking angel wanting to grant this poor kid his wish. It just sounds so funny. I think this is also one of the more popular that I've seen on Goodreads, like, and on Reddit and everything. Every time I see a post or book recommendations on like Goodreads or whatever, when I go looking up, I don't have Goodreads again, but when I go look up a book, it always has this one as a suggestion because it's just a fun time. I think this one is just going to be freaking hilarious, and it's lighthearted as well, so I can't guarantee it's gonna be like super gory or super horror-esque, but it is lighthearted and funny and zombie and fast-paced. So that just seems like something that will really help me pass the time this holiday season. But those are all of the books that I am reading for this holiday season, that I want to read for this holiday season. Please, please, please let me know if you are planning on reading any of these, or if you want to, if you like these type of videos, whatever, all that jazz, please let me know. I want to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons. All of their names you'll be able to see right here on the screen. I am so grateful for every single one of them. Again, link for my Patreon will be in the description below if you're interested in checking that out. I hope you guys, no matter where you are, what you're doing, have a great holiday season. Just have a great December in general. I have lots of plans and ideas for the new year for 2025. Make sure you're stay tuned for that, and a lot of great ideas and fun things planned for the Patreon as well. So thank you again for coming along with me on this journey. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all of that jazz. And as always, thanks for watching.